Brenda J. Lilly here with the Bridge Artistic Network. I wanted to put out a small disclaimer before we launch into today's video. I am not a licensed therapist. I am just a fellow creative artist who hopes to encourage, engage, and hopefully empower other creative artists to go out and live their art dream. Okay, here we go into today's video. I hope you enjoy it. Well, good Monday morning, everybody. Brenda J. Lilly here with the Bridge Artistic Network. It is Monday morning, July 21st, 2025, if you can believe that. And it is time for another Monday morning Kickstart. If you like this video, and I sure hope you do, give us a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. But most importantly, share it with everyone you know so we can all keep becoming who we were created to be. All right, on with the video. Well, good Monday morning, everybody. Brenda J. Lilly here. I have a big cup of coffee and I'm ready to rock and roll, and I hope you are too. It's actually Shakespeare. Anyway, well, not actually Shakespeare because, well, Shakespeare's dead, but a picture of Shakespeare is on my mug today. Anyway, I digress. So, I wanted to talk a little bit about something that I heard this weekend, I partook of this weekend. Those of you who know and watch these videos know that I have been away, and I drove down to Florida from Massachusetts to Florida with a friend to tuck her into her new house, and then went over to the other coast, to the Gulf Coast of Florida, to start another Bridge Artistic Network artist circle there. And that was glorious. And I met some fantastic people down there. And I honestly can't wait to go back and be with them and see how they grow in this work and grow together as community and build this network down in Florida. So anyway, little slice of Brenda J. Lilly's life. Drove a lot. I was in a car for a very long time. But you know what? It was wonderful. It was absolutely wonderful. And then being able to be there with my friend Cheryl in her new place and see where she lives, also wonderful. Meet her niece and really, and some of her neighbors as I was out with Molly a couple of times. Really great. And then my cousin Karen came and picked me up and we drove across the state with my other cousin Cindy. And it was just a wonderful time getting to see where she lives, getting to meet her friends. We went to a museum, a glass museum. Oh my goodness. If you are ever in St. Petersburg, you need to go to, I think it's called the Museum of Imagination. It's incredible. It was all glass work. There was a dress made of blown glass, and it looked like you could touch it and it would be soft. Of course, I did not touch it because there's big signs that say don't touch anything. I had to walk through the entire museum with my hands in my pockets because everything wanted to look so touchable. Anyway, I digress. This is not what we're talking about, but it led me into what I'm about to talk about because I landed back in Massachusetts on Thursday. On Friday, I had meetings. And then on Saturday, I went to a leadership class. And it was there that I heard someone's understanding of their artistic nature, of their artistic offering, of what they do artistically as a selfish endeavor. And that word selfish, it both broke my heart and also made me a little bit angry. And I wasn't mad at him. I wasn't mad at the artist. I was mad at the thought. Someone placed that thought process out there for this artist to consume and begin to believe and then carry into their whole life. There was another artist who isn't functioning in her artistry. Sometimes life happens. I wrote about this in Soul Care Sunday post. But I wanted to address this idea of art being a selfish endeavor. Because what that translates to in my brain, and I don't know if it translates to your brain this way, but when I hear, well, it's a selfish gift, that means that I'm selfish or being selfish when I pursue it, when I try to hone my craft, when I work on gaining prowess in this craft, that I am being a selfish person. And pretty much across the board, selfishness, when you think of the idea of someone being selfish, it's a negative. I'm trying to think if I've ever thought of it as a positive. I mean, there's times when I say, I'm going to be selfish and I'm going to take time to myself. Meaning, if I don't do it, if I don't demand this of myself, it will never happen. But I view what I'm doing, pulling away or backing off or closing myself into my home for a little while to recharge, as a selfish activity. Also wrong, because I gain my energy from quiet and alone time. So it's not selfish of me to desire being alone for a while, because I'm recharging my battery so I can go back out into society and not do any harm. If I don't recharge, then I think that's more selfish of me, because if I don't recharge, then I'm an angry person who is functioning on fumes. I lack wisdom. That's not a good place to come from. So I take time away. I used to think of it as selfish. I don't anymore. I understand. This is how I recharge. Someone else might recharge with people. Groovy, baby, be you. But that's not me. And I think it's not selfish for you to go out and be with people in order for you to continually charge your battery. And you shouldn't think that because I absent myself from society for a few hours here and there, or whole days, depending on how much I've given out. Sorry, I had to pause the video there. I had a visitor come to the house. So I'm back at it. So I was saying that it's not selfish of me to absent myself for a little while to recharge my battery. So that's the idea of selfishness being incorrect, thinking of what you do in order to recharge for life and the pursuit of joy and happiness, and to not kill people when you interact with them because you forgot to recharge, as a good thing. It's not selfish to actually recharge your battery the way your personality structure needs to be recharged. But that's not what we're talking here. What was said, or what was intimated, was that his artistry was a selfish endeavor. And man, oh man, I literally started crying. And spoke to it a little bit, um, because I honestly, this thought came out of left field for me, and I don't think I was completely prepared to um, answer that at that moment. That the idea that practicing your art, whatever it is, your artistry, whatever it is, whether it's molding, whether it's throwing clay and creating yeah, vessels and whatever else, um, blowing glass, dancing, acting, singing, you name it, cooking. Think of any creative process. But working on it in order to learn how to be better at it, why is it with the arts? Why is that considered selfish? When someone who wants to be the best accountant in the world and goes and gets not only their bachelor's, but then pursues a master's and gets their licensing and all of that, and takes years and years and years and years to hone that skill set, that's not considered selfish. Someone who spends years and years and years and years and years to become a nurse, that's not considered selfish. But somehow, someone somewhere spoke into being the idea that honing, working on, learning about, and learning how to do your craft with excellence, your creative expression with excellence, is actually selfish. No, dude. No. You know what would be selfish is to be given such an incredible gift and not share it with the world. To not work on it, to not hone it, to not give it your attention, your time, your passion, and then release it into the world. That's called hiding it under a bushel, and I'm not for that. I think artists, creatives were given these gifts to be the light in this world, to bring joy, to bring new thought, to start conversations, to create a renaissance, to come out of darkness and see what you see. You know, when I went to that museum in Florida, there was this dress, and I will attach it somewhere in this video. And I was just astounded. I think I stared at this dress, I don't know, for a good 5-10 minutes, because, and I took like 10-12 pictures of it, because this artist made it look like fabric. And I'm always astounded by that, with when someone has carved something out of stone and made it look like flowing fabric in the wind. This dress looked soft and cuddly, and it was glass. That didn't just happen. That took years and years and years of practice, of probably starting and failing projects. I mean, can you imagine how much broken glass there must have been in the process of learning how to do that and create that thing? And now it sits in a museum, and it is something to wonder at, and to bring, like, just, I mean, seriously, I was just in awe by it, and it just filled my heart with joy that someone could do something so beautiful, create something so beautiful, and that I get to partake in it and see it and experience it. I don't think learning your craft and taking time on your craft is selfish. Does it take time away from other things? Perhaps. But doesn't everything that we deem of value do that? I mean, if you are not working and making money through the use of your craft or your creative energy, and you're doing something else to keep yourself in sneakers, well, that's of use and of value, and you're spending at least 8 hours a day on that. So, why is spending an hour here or an hour there, or 3 hours or 4 hours, even 8 hours on something that makes your heart sing, that then could be something that you bring out into the world and give somebody that sense of wonder and life and light? Why is that considered selfish? I don't get it. But I know that that's why the Bridge Artistic Network exists, because I want to pull artists that have those bad thought processes about their creative journeys and bring them out of the darkness that they're sitting in and come into the light of community, and let's just have some time to create together, not necessarily doing the same project together, but bringing your stuff and having set aside time to create, setting aside a Saturday once a month to do this work. It's not too much, and it's not selfish. It is actually a life-giving thing. It's why I do what I do. And so my hope is that that this video starts to break down those walls of barrier, those barrier walls between us, and really digging in to who we are as creatives and artists, and giving it our time, our attention, our energy, and making it something that we do value. All right. That's what I have for us today. I hope you like this video. If you did, please share it with those you know and love, so that we can all keep becoming who we were created to be. All right. I love you guys. Have a beautiful week. Hey, thank you so much for watching our video. I hope you liked it. If you did, give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, subscribe. What are you waiting for? All right. I hope you all have a wonderful week. Bye.